Hello, and welcome to Incomplete Geeks, a gay geek podcast where we talk about all sorts of various geeking stuff. Sometimes we know a lot about what we're talking about. Other times our knowledge is a little bit
incomplete.
That's right. I'm your co-host, John. Over there is your co-host, Nick. We are two geek fanatics talking about stuff our own way. How are you, Nick? I had no intro. I had no proper intro.
I was like,
I was thinking of something.
He's going to pull one out of the air because of his comic genius time.
I was like, this is our Shapeshifters, Two-Face. I don't know. I couldn't do the recent Marvel show that just finished a few days ago called Secret Invasion. If you haven't listened to the previous 5 episodes, that's okay. Just listen to this one.
Just listen to this one.
I mean, if you did, thank you. That was great. Well done of you. Thank you for sticking through it. But here we're going to talk about the show as a whole. And I was thinking, Nicholas, here's an idea. Just to show how much we plan ahead. Because you and I have not spoken about this at all. Here's my idea. Let's start with non-spoilery stuff, like topics. Basically talk about why the show didn't work and not spoil things. And then like maybe the second half we can talk about spoilery things. People who haven't seen the show and they still want to, they can watch it.
Yeah. Okay. That's
cool.
Fair.
Good. Also, I should notice. Do you hear anything? I got a new chair.
Only taking 18 months. Oh, I don't have one. I've still got squeaky desk.
Do you have your little microphone thing that you sort of whap and it goes?
Oh no, I don't know where that is.
No. Anyway, so before we get into that, I hear that you, Nicholas, have some Geekery of the Weekery to share with us.
Yes, I would like to very much please do a Geekery of the Weekery.
Previously on X-Men.
Geekery of the Weekery.
A little bit of positivity because the rest of the episode might be a little bit of a downer. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best not to.
We're both going to try.
Not very hard because it's going to be a downer. But I would very briefly like to talk about this week.
It's a fun downer.
This week, if you are a geek, you may very well have experienced one of the best episodes of Star Trek to air ever was on this week.
I heard about this.
The crossover between Star Trek Lower Decks and Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And I'm loving the reaction to everyone online.
Okay.
I still say I'm very disappointed that it leaked. Not necessarily leaked, they did trailers for it. So it was very much known that this was going to be a crossover. Because I would have lost my I was losing my mind anyway, but I would have been inconsolable. Also, it was the same day I saw the Barbie movie, so I was just off my tits.
You're on a high.
And then I watched that, and I was just fucking losing my mind. And if I didn't know, I would have been confused by the start. I was like, wait, I put the wrong episode, I put the wrong show on, and would have had to check. It's like, what the fuck? And then would have lost my mind.
So can I just make one thing clear? Lower Decks is the cartoon.
Sure is.
Okay. Is that the one with the... Yeah, so it's... Is it Jack Quaid as like the main guy who's... Yeah, okay. And they do a crossover with live action.
They do, and it's...
That's fun.
It's so perfectly done. It's just done with the most purest, lovingest intentions, just clearly by people who love Star Trek. I mean, Jonathan Frakes directed it, which I didn't realize until I saw the discourse.
My brother, by the way.
Yes, of course, yeah. Your dad.
My dad, of course.
Uncle Jonathan. Uncle Jonathan with nephew Jonathan. Isn't it weird that, like, straight people name their kids the same name as themselves?
Yeah, because they want that's a form of legacy.
They're so egotistical. They're like, I have to have more of me. I'm gonna actually give you the same fucking name. Isn't that nuts?
If I name my child the same as me, it's gonna be the same kind of person I was when I was younger.
It's like, oh, we need another one of me, so much so that it's just, oh god, fucking
Junior. That's the word.
Fucking Junior. Anyway, so I don't. You haven't seen
crossover? Yeah. I haven't seen that. I've saw
either show.
I think I saw the first episode of Lower Decks because I was interested in what it was. I was like, oh, that's fun. I'll watch it later, and never did.
And you haven't seen Strange New Worlds either.
No, because I'm an idiot. So that's that. But I
Even
will.
though I even though I said, please can you binge both seasons so when it finishes we could do a Strange New Worlds episode.
Which is still on the cards, which I
We
still will do.
You have
I
to watch it like 18 episodes in like 2 weeks.
just give me a time. Just give me a date and give
Two
me a task and a
2 weeks.
deadline. That's how I function. Give me something to do and then a deadline.
2 weeks. And you've got
2 weeks.
Paramount Plus. So
I think
binge it.
we've got. I mean, okay. As you know, I've just moved house and everything is still being like set up in a way. So I think we've got Paramount Plus. I'll figure out how to do it. I'll figure it out. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not spending any money for the next like month at least.
So if you could do it in like a month, then I think that's a fair amount of time. We can wait for people to finish Strange New Worlds. I think there's only, I don't know.
Do you think that there's not going to be enough people who are like watching it religiously like you and just sort of will want to talk about it as soon as it airs?
This is the only kind of thing that you'd want to talk about. Like, it was a big deal, and I love it. The whole internet's been so positive about it because it was done so well. I don't know if they lucked out or it was by design that Jack Quaid, so Boimler and
Boimler, yeah. Which is a weird name, but I think they meant that.
Beckett. Oh my god, my brain just went completely blank.
Which one's Beckett?
So the fact that Jack Quaid and Tawny Newsome look like their characters
Oh, right.
was
Oh, so it wasn't a cartoon then?
no. So when they come through, they are real life.
Right. Oh, wow. Okay.
So
When you say they come through, do you mean?
I'm not going to say too much through. When they come through,
Okay, fine.
it starts animated and then they come through.
It's a process by which they become.
There
like
is
that.
there is a Star Trek trope, and it happens, and it's great. But Tendi and Rutherford obviously don't go through because they don't look like them. Which is Rutherford black but played?
No idea what you're talking about. Yeah, you're looking up.
I want to know his ethnicity. Oh no, he does. He does look like him in that photo. It's just one's got the flash on too much, and he looked a little bit white. It looked a little bit Filipino. He may be Filipino.
White. Just a little
Eugene
bit white.
Cordero. That sounds kind of.
Eugene Cordero is he was in a few episodes of Loki. That's all I know, and he was in from another TV show.
He doesn't look super duper like his character, although in some photos he does. Whereas Tendi is a white woman and is a blue alien, so
That works. Yeah,
would have been a little
so
bit.
She
more
was like
difficult.
blue makeup when she came through.
Those two didn't go through. It's just Boimler and
Oh.
Beckett. Sorry, spoilers. Oh, sorry.
Fine. I'll forget by the time I watch it anyway.
Adjusting expectations for those who haven't seen it. It's just Beckett and Boimler that go through.
And it was a good episode. It was fun.
It was just so lovely. It was obviously, if you've watched either show, you realize they're not in the same time period. So it was a time travel-y ish Star Trek episode, which I love. I know some people don't, but I love a time travel-y one.
Yeah.
As long as it's not back to, we've traveled back to 1997 Toronto, which just happens to be where we're fucking filming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just, it was done with lots of love. There was a Riker reference in it, which was apparently ad-libbed, which is super sweet. It was
really?
And it was, it's just fucking brilliant. And after the day I'd had, which was a great fucking day of brownies and Barbie and boot camp, and then it finished off with Star Trek, and I'm like, this is what it means to be a gay geek. I was so fucking happy.
Brownies, Boimler, boot camp, and Boimler.
Barbie.
Barbie. What did I say, Barbie?
Boot camp, brownies, Barbie, and Boimler. What a day!
What a day.
It was so fucking good, and I was so happy. And they, just like, I don't think it's a spoiler. I'm sorry if it is. Just zip forward 30 seconds. Like, they did the Strange New Worlds intro animated. Just little things like that. It was so fucking well done. I loved it. It's just.
I look forward to seeing it then. Were these special brownies by any chance? Is that why you had a great time?
They were gluten-free brownies that I made for my housemate. She has had half of one since, and I've eaten the rest of the tin.
That makes sense, yeah.
When you make stuff, I'm not allowed them in the house.
Question then for you. Well, I don't think we've had a proper good crossover event between Star Trek since the 90s. Because there's not been ever more than two things on. Have there been? Because I know there's a few crossovers between Deep Space Nine and Voyager.
Well, just the first episode really was just the pilot.
Was that it? Well, I mean, I say crossover, but I mean like even characters like Riker shows up in a Voyager
He
episode
does.
when there's because of Q in one episode.
Stay tuned for the Voyager recap episode.
Yeah, Voyager's coming. Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure was there not other things? Because obviously, I mean, I hear about it. I haven't really seen much of Deep Space Nine, but
I missed a lot of Deep Space Nine because I was a Voyager person and I didn't have the energy
mhm.
for both. I'm sure there are, especially in DS9. I feel like you had some because obviously then Worf shows up, and even how in Picard 7 of 9 is in it.
Right.
So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you had more of like a little movement rather than a big special crossover.
But
They
never
did
before when two shows have both been on at the same time. Is there
no,
like a crossover right now?
I don't think
Like
so.
Buffy and Angel kind of thing. Crossover.
No, I mean Strange New Worlds is a spin-off of Discovery, but never the twain shall meet again.
Yeah. Okay. Fun.
Yes. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I mean, my rankings of Star Trek shows, which will probably get me cancelled by the Gay Geeks World, is still Voyager #1 because I'm
Hmm.
rewatching it at the moment.
Hmm. Yeah.
Lower Decks, and then Strange New Worlds.
Oh,
It's absolutely. So I'm super happy that the two.
not even Next Generation.
Then Next Generation,
Okay.
and then then maybe
Then
Discovery, and the
the
rest.
rest.
And
The
the
rest of the
rest of
block.
them, I don't even know what happens to the rest of them. Yeah,
Okay.
they're so very. They manage to kind of capture the spirit of Star Trek, but have their own little. It's lovely. So yes,
Great. Good. Glad. Fun. Sounds like fun.
there's happiness and soft sci-fi joy in the world.
Yeah.
Subscribe to Amazon Prime now.
As a nice little segue to our main story now, you can tell when the show is being made and the people who are making it are having fun. Like you can
Yeah.
tell that like they're enjoying it. And moving on to our main segment, talking about we don't have an intro for like Secret Invasion, whatever. We're talking about Secret Invasion.
Oh, and I don't want one.
No, fine. We're just gonna cut straight in. If we had a Geek of the Week, we're just gonna cut straight in. Not even a little blip. Anyway, the only person who looks like they're having fun in this Secret Invasion show is Olivia Colman.
Vivi Coleman.
And
She's the only one making it fun for us to watch.
she's the only making because like we're actually rooting for her, and so trying to avoid spoilers for at least a little bit, just so people can listen, can listen to the show a little bit.
How would you sum up Secret Invasion, the Disney Plus Marvel show, in 15 words or less?
15 is too many. I would say.
Or less. You don't have to use all 15.
I would say. Failed attempt at espionage thriller that leaves you feeling extremely disappointed in Marvel's future.
I mean, you could mention Nick Fury chases Skrulls without actually chasing Skrulls.
Oh, so you wanted to do like a recap? I'm trying to do like the overall feeling of what it was underwhelming.
He's feeling disappointed about future of MCU.
There you go. You done it. Now say it in a haiku. Say it like Nick Fury chases Skrulls.
No, it's syllables, not
Yeah,
words.
Nick. Oh fuck yeah, Nick Fury. This is gonna take too long.
Finds Skrulls,
Nick Fury finds Skrull. Nick Fury and Skrull. Nick
but
Fury.
doesn't actually. So, what the fuck's the point?
That works good. Dude, listen, if you have a haiku about Secret Invasion, please write into us and let us know what you thought about it.
Yeah, so
Even if you watched it or not.
in summation, based on the incredibly popular comic book series by Brian Michael Bendis in Avengers, New Avengers, back in Flurgan, 2000
Yeah.
7, 5, 4, 1,
You could say
9.
anything. I'd be like,
One
yeah,
of them.
sure.
One of those. It was pre-Iron Man. I remember that. Pre-MCU. Based on that, and even the animated version was done actually really well. The premise is Skrulls are on Earth. Who can you trust? Nick Fury's going to figure it out. Apart from the fact that none of that happens, or is the case, or does that, or he does it, or happens, or is the case.
I mean, I get the sense from you, and I didn't really look into that much, but like it doesn't follow the comic books at all.
Not even remotely.
In the comic books, I'm assuming Nick Fury is the main character.
Nope.
Oh, it's not even. Okay, so so the thing is, like, we can allow some sort of
Oh yeah, that's fine.
leeway for dramatic license kind of thing.
The twist can't be Spider Woman was the Skrull Queen all along. Sorry, spoilers for the comic book from 20 years ago. It can't be that because no one, Spider Woman isn't here. It has to be different, and that's
Yeah,
fine. But anything, any of the vibes, any of
no
the espionage, any of the reveal that
danger
like what
reveals. Yeah,
they've been, and like several lead people were revealed to be Skrulls that have been Skrulls in the comics. Some
hmm
of them for decades.
yeah,
Like the real characters come back at the end and like you died in 1987. It's like, what are you talking about? And that was a scroll the whole time. It
yeah.
was brilliant. I'm sure it's a kind of a sci-fi trope, isn't it? It's been done in a lot of other franchises. Is
Yeah,
the
but it has been done a lot, but it hasn't always been done well. And if you can say,
And this is not one of those times.
this is not one of those times,
It's not been done well either.
because you make it sound like that they were planning something like this for a long time. It's like when we were talking about Iceman, how like Brett Cunningham to be gay was kind of, it just made sense for the character that they had written. And so like if somebody, like, using spoilers more for the comics, if Spider Woman is turns out to be a Skrull the whole time, or Hank Pym was a Skrull the whole time, it kind of explains those behaviors in the previous issues.
Both were
Was
scrolls.
was that yeah, no, because you told me last time. Was that intentional in the comics, or did they just use it as a plot device to say, oh, this is why they acted weird?
Potentially Spider Woman. I don't
Hmm.
know. You'd have to ask Brian. Definitely not the others because those characters are so old. I don't know if how far back they retconned
Right. Okay.
Hank Pym, um, but Spider Woman could have because Brian Michael Benders, introduced her back into the Avengers at the start of his run.
Yeah.
And it was about 30 or whatever issues later when Secret Invasion started. Before that, she had been depowered and for decades and was a forgotten kind of character. So,
Spider Woman was.
yeah. So possibly that could
Yeah.
have been,
And
or
that could have.
or at the very least, he's like, I'm going to do something with her.
Yeah, yeah, and I suppose if you're coming up with a new idea where there's secret identities kind of thing, based because of an invasion, you can then look at the previous history, which sounds like the writer did, and sort of say, well, that person has been changed in a weird way, and it's not really been explained. I got it. I can make this into a good story. They didn't do that with the TV show at all. And it's like the people who are revealed to be Skrulls, it's just not done in a way that's shocking or doesn't make you sort of rethink any of the characters from previous films or TV shows. That's what let down to me. Like there's no
That was the
intrigue
whole point. That was the whole premise that they could have
of
blown
the comic
up
book. Yeah.
of the MCU. They could have
Yeah.
changed everything with this series. I know that's putting a lot of pressure and a lot of weight on a TV show rather than a movie. And
Hmm.
they probably didn't want to do that just in case, because people don't watch everything anymore. So they probably don't want it to be too interconnected. But that could have been another way to be like,
Yeah, but think about
do what you want,
Yeah, but if they had done something like that and they think, well, not everybody's going to watch it, that would make people watch it because basically, like, oh, that person's been a Skrull the whole time. I wonder how long. Like you said, you went back through comic books before and try to
Mm.
figure out like if there were any telltale signs, whatever. We could have done that with films and TV shows and been like, oh wow, that person's a Skrull. There's been theories out there like this person could be a Skrull in the future before like Skrulls were even talked about.
That would have been so fun because then in future shows or stuff, they
Hmm.
could have done flashbacks of
Yeah,
the character
exactly.
being, which is what they did in Secret Invasion. They did flashbacks to different
The comic
things
books, yeah.
when after you found out she was a Skrull. She's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Hmm.
How fucking fun would that have been? Like the way that we've kind of gone back in One Division Hawkeye to the blip, so you kind of see people's
Yeah,
reactions to it.
yeah,
With Monaco
and
and with Yelena, that sort of stuff. Can you imagine
yeah,
having
I was
gone
gonna.
back and be like, someone going, fucking hell, these Avengers work fucking hard. Why did I choose? Why did I get this one? All of that would have been brilliant. But they don't do that. They
No,
don't
no,
do
no.
that. Sorry, spoilers. They don't do any of that. They don't do anything interesting with the characters. They introduce new characters, which I don't care about, and then they make you try and care about, but I don't.
Yeah, there's a
I
couple of that
don't.
as well.
I don't care that the Prime Minister about the Prime Minister of the UK. Who my
Who's the character? We're not spoiling.
guys. What?
Yeah,
I'm like, whatever.
there's there's okay. So without spoiling anything, there's basically like WandaVision, Hawkeye, because Yelena's, you see from the Yelena's point of view, that's in Hawkeye, right?
Yeah.
So like her coming back from the blip, we could have had that with Nick Fury because we knew that he was gone for the blip. We didn't get that at all. Reference. Oh, yeah, I know what it was. You were saying like you could have had flashbacks, like in without giving any spoilers away. There's a few references, especially in this last episode, to previous characters from other parts of the MCU and previous powers that get referenced. It happens very fast, but then you see some of those powers being used, basically. Not to give anything away, but imagine if it was like a character who was revealed to be a Skrull, and then you flash back to a film, like a different film, and there's a character from that film who cameos in the TV show. Like imagine if you flash back to like the first Thor, for example, and Thor shows up or whoever, and or somebody from that TV show. Imagine if Natalie Portman shows up interacting with the Skrull, and the Skrull takes, I don't know, like that's the way they could do flashbacks. That would have been a lot more interesting instead of the way they did it now, which was just flashing by a number of characters who were supposed to be referenced from other parts of the MCU for fanboys to be like, oh, wow, they referenced so and so. And then they, and then there's like some kind of.
That would have been exciting in 2002. We are a long way from that. You need to do better, Marvel. This needs to be done better.
Yeah. Like we already know. We're already sold that this is a big interconnected universe. Like you don't like. We didn't get excited when there's reference. Well, in a couple episodes before, and when there's references to other characters, we're like, yeah, great, yeah, we know they exist. That's not really exciting for us anymore.
We know, we've all seen it. Is there anything the show did well before we talk about spoilers? Olivia Colman.
Olivia Colman was great. I think everything she does is basically. Not just in this show, but everything she does generally is great. But everything in this show was great because her character was very clear on what she wanted and how she was going to get it, as opposed to even Nick Fury or even Talos,
Gaia, any of them.
Gaia, you don't exactly know
main bad guy.
How they're going to, the main bad guy. There's a lot of shouting in this last episode.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, Olivia Colman does with her character, which could be a complete throwaway, weird bullshit character, what Florence Pugh did with Yelena. Like, here's a spy with no powers and that sort of stuff. But the charm and charisma and the authenticity that Florence brought to her character, Olivia brought to hers, and you just like fucking love them. And I would
we could be friends, Kate Bishop.
I would watch. My God, I would watch movies about the two of them and just all of it. It just, I mean, they're just wonderful actors. So therein lies the key. Not that the others aren't good. I just think that they took what they had and ran with it and made it their own in a way that some of the others didn't. I love you, Emilia Clarke. I didn't get that from her. This series, she didn't look like she knew what to do with it.
Yeah, and that's a good point because when you're an actor the thing is like with Florence Pugh in Hawkeye and Olivia Colman now, they're not the main characters, and so they're sort of told like you're going to serve this purpose, and they're like I'm assuming this kind of works like this: the director or the screenwriter or whatever, there's very limited information in the script about their characters, and so the actor can just go and run with it. They can have fun in a way. Oh, I'm going to bring this kind of nuance to the character, and it works. But characters like Gaia, like there's a very serious part that she has to play in the story, so there's not a lot to do. There's not a lot of play that the actor has. There's not a lot of substance
room to do. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. And she is a serious character, so she's not given the opportunity to be light and have the levity that the other two were. But which is a shame because I do love Emilia, but it's great. It didn't work for me.
The flip side of that is if you're a serious character, you are effective because you see the character grow throughout the TV show or the series, and we didn't really get that either.
No. Oh my!
I mean, there's a very physical way that guy grows, but it doesn't really sort of you don't feel like it is earned.
No. Oh my God! My Twitter has just reloaded and it's now X.
It's the Twitter's now on X, isn't it? I read about that.
And the logo is like some low-res shit pixelated X in the top.
Why are you on that? I haven't started. Are you on Threads yet? Like, is that
No,
a
but I
thing?
go because I went looking to see. I went looking to see if there was anything about San Diego Comic Con. I should have said this
Mm,
in the Geeker of the Week read. It's like nothing. No one's talking
nothing.
about it at all. I can't see any
Is it
major
this week? It's
announcement.
this weekend. It's on, isn't it?
It's gone. It's finished.
Oh, it's done now.
Yeah. I mean, I know Marvel weren't going to be there anyway because Disney, and then
Hmm.
obviously the strike meant no one could promote anything on
Yeah.
TV or film. But I haven't seen any major things. Please write in with your favorite announcements from San Diego Comic Con because I've not heard anyone talk about them.
Have there been announcements? Because if who's going to make the announcements?
Like we
If
can talk
Marvel.
about comic books.
Okay,
Remember,
yeah, yeah. I
there's
suppose
other
that is what
things.
the point of it is.
San Diego Comic Con.
Oh, I thought it was like a Comic Con,
TV.
like a kamikaze.
Oh no.
No, probably not.
Anyway, there was some stuff about X-Men 97, but that was vague as well. Anyway,
The
sorry.
only thing I want to say about the show, reason it didn't work, there was a definite tone imbalance. Like the show did not know what it wanted to be. Did it want to be like a spy thriller? Failed at that. Did it want to be like a drama? Kind of failed at that. There's hardly any comedy in it. Did it want to be like a romance? Because there's romantic elements in there, and I didn't really succeed at that either. I'm just like, it just didn't. It didn't know what it wanted to be. So like, I'd put that below
All of them.
all of that. Yeah, all of them actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, like Cap.
Even Moon Knight tried.
Yeah, Moon Knight knew what it wanted to be. It kind of went with it. It was kind of wild and crazy. It didn't have an effect on the rest of the MCU, which is the biggest drawbacks to it. But at least it had it had a coherent
It made a swing,
thing.
right? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah.
we're gonna do this, dissociative disorder Egyptian god vibe. Cool.
Yeah. And we're gonna get a Moon Knight season 2, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. Like
I
even
I don't think
Captain.
I think a lot of projects in the wake of the writer strike
No, it's true. Yeah.
are going to be cold. I think there's going to be so much stuff that's just going to be, whether it's an excuse or a fucking valid reason. They said they're going to reduce the output, and now that the strike is, who knows how long it's going to go on for, and
Hmm.
they're going to have to get rid of a lot, which I think is going to be a good idea. Get rid of the
Yeah.
weaker stuff, because maybe Secret Invasion wouldn't have made the cut if the writer strike had happened whilst they were working on it.
I still think
Um,
it should have been a film, though. To be honest, like
oh, so
even
that's
even this last episode.
so I saw an interesting take. I will not claim these ideas as my own because I don't think I have any original ideas. I saw this take online, which is going to be. Can we spoiler now? Are we done?
Yeah, I think I'm ready to sort of say,
Okay.
yeah, that was a good amount. So
So
spoilers for the whole of the show from now on.
spoilers down with now. So you said last week, for those who listened, should have been a movie, could have been a movie, would have been a better
Hmm.
movie. Um,
Yeah.
I've seen online someone say that this should have been, could have been, would have been Captain Marvel 2. If you had, rather than Nick Fury as the focus, Carol Danvers as the focus, and her
Okay.
goal, she said, like, I'm going to find you a home, I'm going to find you a home. That was her whole thing.
Yeah.
She failed. They didn't really
Yeah.
address that. Like, they threw that in Nick Fury's face a couple of times. It's like she failed to find them a home and
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. So she could have been dealing with that kind of guilt as well.
And there's
Um,
still no explanation for that as well, which is a kind of an open thread. Open thread?
It
A
could have also
hanging
been
thread.
really interesting if they explored that, because why couldn't she find them a home? Like if
Yeah.
it was like finding ones where there was already civilizations and people on it, it would have
Yeah.
been interesting if they're like, no, we're not accepting them because we don't trust them because they're weird and different.
And they're a warring faction, warring
All
race kind of
these
thing.
all these could have been really interesting things.
Yeah, you could have seen Captain Marvel like hopping around to other planets, just like, you see,
All of
looking at
it,
locations.
and then finding out how they've been working behind her back the whole time and they've been betraying that sort of stuff, and she has to doing the espionage, that kind of stuff could have been a thing as
Hmm.
well. Like this all would have been, yeah, it was more
Interesting.
suited, the format was more suited, definitely, I agree, to a film
Yeah.
rather than dragging it out and not doing anything with it. I
In-
still would have preferred a good TV show.
Yeah. I would have preferred a TV show if it had distinct episodes, and nothing against ones that have like a through arc, but this arc just dragged on. It wasn't a strong enough arc to last 6 episodes.
I don't even know what the arc was, but it could have been one episode, and then we could have had another arc. We could have had something in the 90s. We could have followed this character. We could have followed the
Yeah,
spoiler. We could have followed the Skrull that turns into Rhodey. We could
yeah,
have followed that character. We could have followed Olivia Colman. We could have seen all this and how Skrull Secret Invasion of the Skrulls has affected all these different timelines and
it's a
all these
good
different
point.
lives and all these different storylines. Kind of anthology, but a little bit connected. Oh, that's
Yeah.
a really good idea.
That's a good idea. Because then if you did that, that's your original idea. There you go, bing, you got one.
Yeah, oh, God, hey, I have a thought. Yay!
Yay! If they did that, then they could have easily done like 10 episodes and like focus on a different character each time, or different era. Like you talked about Rhodey and Sonia Fallsworth, and even Gaia. Like, what was her first mission?
Mum!
Like, why did she? Or the mom? Like, where did the mom? Well, she. All we know, we were told she died. Okay,
because you could have had that at the beginning, and then like episode 6 or 7, we could have had the mum story.
Exactly.
Oh, that would have been shit hot. I would have loved
Well,
that.
like, why did Gaia leave Talos and go to the other side? Like,
Gravik in the
all this
first
stuff.
place.
Yeah.
All of this fun. It's like, if you're gonna make
No.
TV shows, if you want to spend all your money, time, and effort to grow Disney Plus subscribers, that's fine. I prefer TV to films anyway. You have to write for TV. You have to make these TV shows, not a film you chopped up into 6 bits.
Exactly. Yeah,
WandaVision, guys.
I know we always bring up WandaVision because it was like the best one, because they put a lot of money into it. And it was like 9 episodes, and like, also not to mention the CGI was I was gonna say flawless, but it was like, I didn't notice anything wrong about the CGI there. But like, they didn't hold back. They gave free reign. Even episodes like She-Hulk, which I mentioned a lot, like they have distinct episodes, and they gave it like 9 episodes or 10 or something like that. I don't remember exactly. And it just worked. Even Loki was like, it worked because they allowed it to sort of to be a TV show, and this wasn't.
Nope,
It wasn't a TV show.
This is a film that was smooshed up.
Yeah, one episode about.
God, that would have been really good. Now I'm even more disappointed that they didn't do anything like that.
I know. That would have been great.
We keep coming up with ways this could have been good, but was in fact not.
Can we talk about Rhodey for a second now?
Please go.
Because the question is still hanging over the heads, like when. But when they pull him out of the pod, you can see that he needs help walking.
So after Civil War.
And no, it would have been before, because
if it was after, he wouldn't be able to walk at all because he didn't have the exosuit on. Is that what you mean?
Yes, Civil War, yeah.
He would have been nothing. I feel like that's an oversight. I feel like they're meant to make it more difficult for him to walk because they're like, oh look, he's already had his back broken.
Yes. Yeah, and so I'm thinking about like his recovery scene, which I think was in, maybe it was Infinity War. I don't remember exactly.
No, it was at the end of Civil War.
Was it?
Yeah, where he's walking and then he gets Tony. Is this Tony Skank? That's in the same one.
Maybe that was, yeah. So at some point in there.
Didn't question me.
Fine, I don't. I take it back. Yeah. So was that like an interesting reveal?
No, and I'm so sorry to Don Cheadle, but I don't care. It's like, oh my god, Rhodey was a Skrull in Endgame. Yeah. Do I care? Do I, listeners?
It's not. It's not shocking for us.
Care. It's not shocking. It's not interesting. Oh god. Oh.
What else? Okay, I want to talk about that final fight.
Let's talk about the final fight scene. I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
Shocking.
I knew you were going to say that.
To all our listeners, shocking. And the worst thing I didn't like is when she morphed into having Drax's weird little black-grey arm, and it looked so off-putting and stupid.
Yeah, that was weird. And she looks at it like, ooh.
It was so awful. And if he
first of all,
the powers of the Hulk or Abomination or whoever it is, why the fuck, and Captain fucking Marvel, I don't want Drax's powers. What can you do that Captain Marvel and the Hulk or Abomination can't do? Like,
no, I don't know. I don't care.
End this call. I don't care.
End this call. Does he? I'm pretty sure. I thought those were tattoos, like all the red marks. I assume they were tattoos. If they are, then they're not part of his DNA.
Oh, I just thought
Okay,
that
never
was
mind.
his skin. I just thought that was his markings of his skin,
Yeah,
sort of stuff.
maybe. Could have been.
I mean,
Could have been.
I do not believe for a second that they will make plans for Gaia in the future. I don't think she's going to be involved in the MCU. So I don't think we need to worry about the fact that she now has the powers of Captain Motherfucking Marvel
She has the powers of every single fucking Avenger. I mean, like,
and
come on.
a load of them. Not all of them.
She
Oh
she
wait,
definitely
she has no magical power.
no. No, oh yeah, not all of them, but like
Although his was learned.
but
No one cares.
well done. But they're bringing up the harvest as like containing every Avengers DNA. When like some of the powers aren't in the DNA, like Ghost, which I'm assuming that was Ghost
It was
because she was
Ghost.
like
It
flashing
was in her
through.
DNA, right? Because it was made. She was experimented on that sort of stuff, right? It's not
I
in
mean,
the suit. The
if
suit.
the power alters her DNA, then maybe I suppose. I don't know. And then the thing is, like, I was getting a bit nerdy fanboy about it, but if she suddenly has all these powers and knows how to use them automatically, like that's a bit of a stretch as well, surely.
Yeah, but
But
as I said, there's clearly no plans to use this character again. So I don't think we need to worry about it. My little headcanon is that once the machine is broken, the powers are gone.
oh my
Because
god, I
that
wish.
No, because that's how like Super Skrull in the again, I'm going off the cartoon, so I probably shouldn't like
Mm,
speak with my whole chest in
yeah,
this. But as I understood it in the original kind of idea of the Super Skrull is like he had his powers like beamed to him. He wasn't like he had to have it like upkeep, and once they kind of cut that off, that's how he just became a Skrull again. Again,
oh,
this is from the cartoon, like the bad cartoon. I haven't read all the Fantastic Fours.
like not even the
I'm
comic.
sorry.
Okay, so it
Like I'm
could be
so
different as well.
sorry. I really tried the other day because obviously they come up in my Marvel Unlimited, but like
Hmm.
you read the '60s stuff and you're like, oh,
Is it really bad?
it's so clunky and '60s and bad. It's awful.
Yeah,
They were an issue too, but I did look at it because Jack Kirby's art is beautiful, but his motion is terrible. Like it's kind of like it looks like that. But the look of these kind of frog faced creatures, they look so different back then. Anyway,
you
so
mean the
that
Skrulls or the frog face
the
creatures?
Skrulls.
Yeah,
Um, but that could have been a thing. It's like no, they needed the machine running and it beamed. That's not far fetched. If you're like, here's alien shape shifting scrolls which steal gene powers, like you can put a caveat in it.
yeah.
So I'm kind of leaving it like that. That now the machine is gone, switched off, blown up, destroyed, whatever. She doesn't get those powers anymore. He wouldn't if he's still here, and anyone else who's got them doesn't have them either. Done.
Okay,
Bye. Let's
that'd
pretend
be a
this
nice.
doesn't happen.
I really doubt that's going to be the answer
Well,
because
they're not going to
they're
deal
never
with
going to
it.
do.
They're not going to have like in the Marvels, just a post credit of Amelia Clark fucking flying through because the whole point of the Marvels is their powers are all interconnected and they can't use them. But she used
Just
hers.
those three.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the same powers. She couldn't have used hers, and Monica Rambeau
Yeah,
didn't show up.
I'm sure they're going to have like a
And even in
caveat
the,
for that as
but
well.
also even in the future, she can't keep them because if she did, if something happens, then she would show up rather than Monica. So
Oh yeah,
I'm
good
just
point.
we're just gonna say
She doesn't have them forever.
don't worry about it. They're gone. It was temporary, and
Yeah,
bye.
fine.
Um,
So that's another reason I think this would have been a better film because all the stuff that would have repercussions on the rest of the MCU happened in the final episode. Like all the stuff that we might think that can have sort of a lasting effect on other stories. He's got a wife, like whatever, big deal. And like all these other sort of reveals, Rhodey was a scroll, whatever. We've resolved that. But like, the thing that's going to have repercussions is the fact that now the world knows. And I told you, didn't I, that they wouldn't talk about it. It's like there's a little bit
talk
of
about what?
like with if the world knows that they're scrolls now, that's going to be the. Oh, no, you said that to me, didn't you?
I
You
don't
said
know.
that's
I
going to
don't
be the
know
end
what
of it.
anyone said. I
No.
feel like the end of the show should have been the start of the show because it feels a little more X-Men-y to have the piece of shit president saying we're going to kill you all and inciting these angry riots of people outing the scrolls and saying there's a million of you and we're going to find you and hunt you
Yeah.
down, and people start doing it, and
Yeah.
the scrolls are running for their lives and that sort of stuff, and then you can see people. This now we're starting to get interesting and you finish.
Exactly. And killing innocent people, which they mentioned very
Yes,
briefly.
Prime Minister
Sorry,
gets shot and
Prime
she's
Minister.
not actually the scroll anymore. This is
But
when
then,
it
like,
starts to get good, and I don't
yes,
think
like
they'll
that's
carry it
really
on.
that's really important. That's a really significant thing that for you to be doing as a story arc, and like no one talks about. Like she's just been assassinated
Yeah,
by some random person who just got through the lines, whatever. And nope, that's it. She's just gone. Like, oops, oopsie. We'll
it's
leave it for next time.
it's
No,
also it's also really compatible with the fucking world that we live in, where people can incite a riot based on
don't get me started.
some asshole president shooting.
Asshole leader of or whatever.
He's literally the asshole president, or he wasn't at the time. But this
Yeah.
is relevant stuff that we can relate to. That's like timely, and this is good. And
If they would talk about it, they would. Do they want to touch on real life subjects? I don't know.
yeah, I feel like
But
Disney hates Trump, so that's fine.
yeah, they do because of
They
all the Florida
fought
stuff.
back. Yeah, they fought
Yeah.
back on a lot of that. Um,
Finally.
they pick and choose, and they're not great, and they're
Yeah.
not doing great with all the other stuff. So, but no one is. So the most
Yeah.
disappointing Marvel thing
That
since
sound you made is the epitome of how I feel.
the most disappointing Marvel project since Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep. And that's that.
Disappointing. Thanks for listening. Just kidding. That's how we,
Yeah, I don't, I don't,
um,
I don't know what else to say that hasn't already been said. That isn't.
we talked about it already, and I think everything we sort of said in the previous 5 episodes is valid.
Yes,
Like we had high expectations at the beginning, which we shouldn't have done, but they were valid. I think because we
I
were
had
basing it on.
I had expectations of good writing and good TV being
Mhm,
made. I
mhm.
didn't have expectations of "Ooh, Jessica Drew's going to be secretly introduced and Carol. That's my normal thing that I need to work on stuff.
Yeah,
And it's like, ooh, how is this connected? Ooh, it's actually going to be an X-Man.
yeah,
Shut the
yeah, yeah,
fuck up,
yeah.
Nick. That's unrealistic expectations. Expecting it to be a well-written spy show because it has Nick fucking Fury in it. I don't think that was
Yeah,
unrealistic, and I don't think anyone's
me neither.
anyway. And it makes me question what the future of the MCU is, because with this Quantum Mania and the strikes and
Yeah,
and what's Kang, what's Jonathan Majors, what the fuck's
yeah.
happening, what the fuck is happening?
No idea.
The way Carol was supposed to be the leader of it, but misogynistic Twitter has bullied her to when she hates doing this, and so she won't be probably in it as much.
Well, to be
Like,
fair, that's not Disney's fault.
oh,
That
that's
part
not
there.
Disney's fault. That's everyone else's fault. No,
Yeah,
just all the bright and shiny, brilliant things that we were hoping for that could have been the future of Marvel. I don't think
yep.
they're not going to happen now, or if they're not going to be good.
It'll be drastically changed either way, and that's a
So
bit worrying.
I don't know what it is. I hope they just take a fucking 2-year hiatus and just start again with X-Men. Just come on.
1 year, I can handle 1 year. I wish they would stop making TV shows based on characters we don't fully understand. I want them not to make
But a TV
TV
show is
shows.
the great place to introduce new characters because you can take your time with them.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Stop expecting everything. There's no expectation because they don't report. Oh, it's to be $1 billion budget thing. It's like no, it can just be like a well-beloved, well-written WandaVision thing.
Yeah.
It's here's either a character we don't know or a moment in her life that we can't really do in a film because it's too distracting and she's not. She wasn't a lead character. She was always supporting. And let's
Yeah.
just unpack it. Let's get some great writing and let's do some great TV.
That's a good point because, like we said before about each episode focusing on a different character, like that's what they could have done, and that could have made us understand the character a bit more, or
because
get to know the motivations, etc.
and we'd have it's a chance to be surprised because the unexpected
Hmm.
breakaway star Monica was from WandaVision,
Yes,
and now she's going to be in a film. Everyone fucking loves her.
that's a good
She's
point. Yeah,
brilliant. Who knows who it could have been if they'd done like a 10-episode arc and really just let these characters fucking run. Who knows? It could have been Talos's wife. Everyone's like, she was fucking brilliant. If you give this
yeah.
actor a whole episode, I don't know. I'm, Olivia
Spitballing.
Clark, Amelia Coleman, any of
Yeah,
them could have been the break. Yelena was a breakout. It's like she's just the comic relief, and they're like, no, she's the star. So they've
Yeah.
introduced it. You give these characters enough time to kind of play around, and they see what the audience reacts to it.
The only person I'd be willing to see in another show is Olivia Colman. I want to see her
Yes,
again. You know.
I'll just listen to her talk on the phone. That's fine. That's great. Just listen to her chat to people. That'd be great. Go to meetings. Can you imagine? Have a quick stand
Yeah.
up with I don't know what her character's name is. I've forgotten everything already.
Sonia.
Sonia. A little quick catch up with Sonia. Oh, love it. Anyway, it's a shame. Yeah, we did something. It was really good.
Yeah.
Let's do 5,000 times more instantly, immediately, and expect to make the same results. Like the fact that Mattel has announced 14 projects after the success of Barbie movie, which I swear
What?
I thought it was satire when they said that there's a Polly Pocket movie that's going to be written and directed by Lena Dunham. I swear I thought that was pure sarcasm. It's like, that's
Oh my
hilarious.
god, that's
Because
ridiculous.
that sounds fucking awful, but exactly what a millennial marketing person at Mattel would have done. But it's true.
Polly Pocket.
Stop it. Make good fucking TV and films.
Original stuff. Good original
Make
stuff. Like
good,
this probably is
just
original.
make good stuff. You know, when you can see, like, I didn't watch the Jennifer Lawrence thing, but that did well. But we've got Spider-Verse, Barbie, Oppenheimer, and whatever the Jennifer Lawrence was, some sort of comedy.
What?
No soft feelings, hard feelings, no hard feelings. No, that whatever.
Was it good? I didn't hear about it.
I didn't watch it, but you know, people went to the cinema for that. But you know, they didn't go for The Flash. It's like, because it wasn't good. It's not a good film. You just have guys, please. You have all the money that you refuse to pay to your writers and actors. You have all the money in the world. Make
Put
good
it into the films.
Make good stuff. Don't fucking rush it. Which I knew they eventually would. And
well, now that
how we got Quantumania and this fucking dog turd.
6 of them as well.
6 dog turds.
So how do you really feel, Nick?
Well, I don't know.
No, I can't even rebut that because it's a fair point. If we sort of get good quality stuff, we're going to come back for more. That's the whole point. And so if we sort of see a good thing, then we'll give you another another cinema ticket or whatever, another 2 months worth of Disney Plus, whatever. But if you keep doing shit like this, then we're gonna go back. We're not gonna see the next one.
Sooner or later, there's going to be a Marvel project that I don't bother watching.
Yeah, you've been threatening that for a year now.
I don't know what it is. It's going to happen eventually, and I'm one of the biggest fucking Marvel fans there's ever been. There has to be my limit. My limit will be Star-Lord. Any kind of solo Star-Lord project, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But something before could happen. I was like, I can't be bothered anymore.
Could be. But it won't be the Marvels.
No, I'm worried. I'm worried the Marvels is going to be Quantumania.
Well, because there's a thing about people weren't really watching this show either. And I think part of the reason is because of Quantumania and because of... Well, I mean, Guardians was okay, actually.
Yeah, but it was... Yeah.
But in terms of TV shows, this was like the relaunch, I guess. The last TV show on Disney Plus that we saw was What If? I don't remember. What was the last TV?
What If was good?
Yeah.
I think people like What If. People love Loki.
Yeah.
I really liked Hawkeye. I really liked Hawkeye. But because of Yelena. Anyway, who can say? So the lasting legacy of Secret Invasion is, what the fuck?
Yeah. Now that we've got scrolls around, it's like, okay, you had this element now. They're just going to use it. Do something with it, yeah.
Something.
Yeah, oh my God, the whole, revealing, that could be another movie in itself.
But it's not, and it's not going to be.
It won't be.
Not going to be. We're going to get Armor Wars with Rhodey leading.
We're going to get Echo TV show. We're going to get
which
Agatha
I will watch.
Coven.
I will. Oh my God, I'd watch the shit out of Agatha. I don't care what she does. It's going to be great. Patti LuPone's in it. Eat a dick. That's so exciting.
Is she? Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they finished. Anyway, so there are some things I'm still excited about, but I just hope they don't disappoint me like this did, because I was so looking forward to it.
Well, here's looking to the next one. We got anything else you want to say about it?
Please, God, no. Just please don't. I don't want to talk about this anymore. This 6 weeks. I'm so looking forward. I'm so looking forward to getting to choose our topics again and talking about something that we really like.
Starting with next episode. So,
I've got the next 2 episodes planned, but I don't want to talk about it just in case we don't actually do that. And both of which are things I'm obsessed. Well, I should be obsessed with all of these things, but no. Like happy, like Good stuff.
I know. And we got a 50th anniversary
Yeah,
50th episode
50th
coming up as well.
episode special coming up. That
Yeah, I've got some ideas as well, but I need to plan out like timings and stuff. So good stuff coming.
We'll talk about this later. Good stuff coming soon. Promise.
We're gonna close this chapter now. This experiment of ours of the 6 episodes of
If you have enjoyed bitching and agreeing with me as I scream into the microphone, thanks for joining me on this journey.
Thanks for sticking around.
B, give us a rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. A good one, please. Share the episodes with your favorite rants, with your friends, families, colleagues, and casual listeners on the social medias.
Give us an email if you want to hear something in particular. If you have an idea for an episode, let us know. incompletegeekspodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can reach out to us on the socials, on Instagram and the TikTok @IncompleteGeeks.
Yep. We like hearing from you. We like doing the show because we are big geeky stuff. We know what we're talking about sometimes, and sometimes we don't because we're not complete geeks.
But we are working on it.
Yeah, we are. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm so happy it's over. I'm so happy it's over. I didn't think this would be so hard.
You can now rest easy.
Just good stuff. Just good vibes.
Good stuff from now on.